I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, welcome to everyone who has joined us in person, as well as those who have joined online. Just a reminder that we are streaming tonight's meeting across the internet, and that recording, as well as the meeting minutes, will be published once they are approved. Start tonight with roll call of board members. Dr. Wyatt,
Present,
Ms. McCloskey.
she had to step out for a phone call for her daughter.
Okay. All right,
Was
we will mark her as here.
Tricia.
Oh, Ms. McCloskey,
Here.
Vice President Starkey.
Here.
And President Earl Dempsey serving as chairs here as well. We have 4 board members present. Thank you all for being here. We're on to 2.4 approval of agenda, Mrs. Starkey.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented. Second.
The motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on that motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0.
2.5 approval of minutes. I make a motion, we approve the minutes from the September 26, 2024 Board of Education meeting. Second.
The motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. All right, we're up to 2.7, citizens participation opportunity for members of the public to address the board prior to each meeting. We do open it up. Anyone who was in person who asked to speak, we did ask you to sign up at the front table and present your sheet to the superintendent's office. We do not appear to have anyone signed up this evening, so we will close our public comment and we'll reopen again in our next meeting in 2 weeks. We're up to Section 3 reports, 3.1 Superintendent Report, Dr. Stephen Lucas.
Thank you, President Dempsey. Good evening, Spartan family. Always like to start with celebrations, and as always, there are a lot of things to mention. First, thanks to our teachers for getting us off to a great start. It's hard to believe the interims for the first marking period have already come and gone. But when things are going well, time seems to fly. Thank you for keeping up the good work. Next, I want to thank and congratulate everyone for such a great homecoming week. For the first time, I think we had all our schools in sync on the same spirit schedule, which really made a difference in raising participation and making homecoming feel like a district-wide event. So congratulations to everybody for that. You know, it helps when the football team then goes out and wins 56-0. So that's good as well. Thanks, Coach Johnson and his team for doing their part. We have some other things on the horizon I'd like to share. National School Lunch Week is next week. Big deal. I'm sure Child Nutrition has some good ideas cooked up for that. We got a number of book fairs, literacy nights, Chipman induction for the National Junior Honor Society is coming soon, October 22nd. And then on October 26th, we're hosting the Marching Band State Championships. That'll be a big deal right here at the stadium from 3 to 8 p.m. As always, there's a lot going on, so please check our website for information regarding these events and a whole lot more. In addition to our school district and school web pages, I always like to remind everyone to follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, and Instagram. But if you're like me and you prefer to talk to a real person, just give us a call here at the CBO or at your school, and someone will be sure to entertain your phone call. Last thing I have is to ask everyone to reach out to your school principal this month as we celebrate National Principals Month. Being a school principal is one of the most difficult jobs in any industry, and here in Lake Forest, we have some great people leading our schools. I see Mrs. Marquis back there hiding. Just want to make eye contact. But thanks to all our principals. We have great people leading our schools, and I want to wish them a great month. That's all I have. I thank you and yield the floor back to President Dempsey and the board for any questions or discussion.
Thank you, Dr. Lucas. Any questions or discussion for Dr. Lucas and the superintendent report? All great stuff. Thank you very much, sir. We're on to 3.2, Child Nutrition Services Report. This is Jennifer Montano. Welcome.
Thank you for having me today, giving me the opportunity to share some stuff that's going on with child nutrition. I always like to start with the department structure, so we just go over, these. I usually have a picture of all of our staff, but this time I just have a picture of our managers from our opening meeting there. So, two of our managers are brand new, have worked up through the ranks. You'll see Dawn Friedis there at the bottom left and Jen Fouracres, second from the left on the top. So they're both new, managers. So they've been highlighted. I just wanted to celebrate them. So the next slide is a little more involved. We have, what do we do? On top of just feeding lunch and breakfast every day, we do a couple different things. As Dr. Lucas mentioned, we have National School Lunch Week starting on Monday. Our theme for that is finding your treasures. So we're doing pirate themes and gonna try and have some fun with that. So you'll be seeing some folks dressed up and we'll have some games and contests going on there. The Special Olympics is something, we're on our third year with that. And we'll be moving lunches outside for them while they're doing their bocce tournament. So we'll have some lunch outside snacks along with some hot apple cider and hot cocoa. So we're looking forward to that. Our focus groups, we're gonna do those every year. We only did 3 schools last year, so the other 3 that we missed, we'll make sure and get them this year. They love to be able to get out of class and come help us taste some food and help us shape our menu. Let's see, life skills is something new that's coming into our purview this year. So we're working with life skills at both the high school and middle school. And we're gonna bring those students into the cafeteria and kitchens to work with us and learn some skills. They'll also be, our high school students are also going across the street to Central to work in that. So we're very excited to have that going on. Farm to school, I was told not to mention Jack, but we have Jack, a couple of Jack's brothers, or sisters, I should say, joining us this year, and so we're reaching out for farm to school. We'll leave it at that. So with the summer program and snack program, we'll kind of go over that in the next couple of slides. But before we do that, I just wanted to celebrate the van. We are so happy to have our van. It's, our new addition, and it's come in handy in a couple of situations. So first, we debuted at I Love Lake Forest Day. We have prime real estate right at the entrance there. So we got to greet everybody coming in. Unfortunately, that was short-lived due to weather, but we hope to get that same spot next year. Summer feeding was great with the van. We added 3 new sites that we might not have been able to add. Camp Lenape, Clark's Corner, and Polytech asked us to feed their adult reading program, the children that were coming along with that. So we were able to add those on, and we were able to drive right into the Delaware State Fair and give out about 600 snacks to the kids on Kids Day with the band. And then last but not least, we got to join in the homecoming parade and walk very quickly. On the parade route.
I know.
Everyone was a little tired.
We do know.
But we still
I
had a good
did look
time.
like it was very fast.
It's very nice. That was good. We got some exercise. So upcoming plans that we hope to use the van for is the bocce ball event. We'll bring it out for that. And we are talking about delivering some Thanksgiving meals to Central and Deck for some special events they have going on there. So the next slide, I just have some comparisons for our meals served in different programs. So we have the CACFP, which is our after-school snacks, comparing year 22-23 and 23-24. So very excited to see these numbers because we increased CACFP by 70%. And that's mostly due to all the new programs we had last year that we were able to feed after school. So we had 5 schools plus DEC that we were providing snacks for Girls on the Run, tutoring, art club, chess club, drama, and math. So we really got out there. So we hope to do the same this year and maybe even grow it into the athletics department. The summer program, summer feeding increased by almost 100%, and kind of self-explanatory because of the van we were explaining. So next year, we hope to grow even more because we found out we're allowed to give out meal boxes. Just kind of like what we did during COVID. We'll be able to do that during the summer. And we're also allowed to add transition days into our summer program. So we'll be able to provide snacks for that this next year. So that's good news. Very exciting. The last column there is our regular meal program. So breakfast and lunch are included on that one. That increased, it doesn't seem as impressive with 6%, but when we look at the numbers, it's about an additional 270 meals a day across the district. So very, very excited about that. We attribute a lot of that to Domino's and chicken wings, but we'll take it. We're hoping to add some other new ones, ramen noodle dishes. We have a stop sign pizza that we're bringing back that favorite, you recognize it. So that's coming back soon. And empanadas is a new one.
Back in the day,
Mhm.
that was like, Fiestada pizza
Uh,
was like my favorite meal, so I think that's back, I'm going to stop there for
Oh,
lunch,
there
I'm
you
just
go.
saying.
So the last slide I have is, I always like to cover, Lake Forest School Nutrition Association. We have, it's a nationwide school nutrition association, then we have a statewide, and then we are the one and only, local organization. So we're the only school district that has a local organization. So how do we serve? We like to serve our community by providing two $500 scholarships to seniors. We really like to get the word out there. We say we want something nutrition based, but we will award. We will not hold that money back for any reason. So we encourage our students to do that. For South's end of year celebration, we have a tradition of donating money towards that for whatever they want to purchase with that. And the Market A. Russ Mentoring and Life Foundation, we also donate to that. And the new one we picked up last year was Wreaths Across America. For our own CNS, we do have a Sunshine Club that we use those funds for after we've covered all of the other ones. And so we can celebrate retirements and other milestones, bereavement, illnesses. And we also try to celebrate the Appreciation Week in conjunction with the School Lunch Hero Day, which is the first Friday in May. So the way we do that is some fundraising. Rad a Knife sales is every year, and this is it's about to begin right now, so you'll start hearing about it. In February, we try to do a Valentine's gift card and scratch off basket drawing. And then March, we do Jeans and Green Day. We're going to try, if we get permission, to do a Krabby basket raffle. So we're getting a donation of crabs in May. So we'll add that on this year. And you're probably missing the slide that I usually have here for the free meals. The reason that's not there is because we're not worried about it. We're because of the changes last year, we're not in danger of losing free lunches or breakfast anytime soon. So that's a nice way to end it. And then that's all I had. Does anybody have any questions?
Great, thank you, Jen. Questions for CNS and Mrs. Montana? So a couple questions for you. So the one you ended with, as far as the free reduced lunch and stuff. So where are we in that? Are we at the beginning of like a 3, 4, 5 year initiative?
It's a
program?
4-year cycle and we're in our second year.
Second year, okay.
Mhm.
But with the changes last year, even at the end of
Right.
2 more years,
We
we're not
were
really
safe.
concerned.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, and maybe put you on the spot, but it's not a question to answer right now if you want to think about it, but the positions that you have, we see the emails as far as the staff turnover and the churn that you experience. Just want to know, do you find any specific challenges that are inherent with CNS as far as keeping folks, and then as well as recruiting? Do you find it difficult, or is it easy to recruit folks for those positions? And, is there anything that could potentially be helpful with either of those?
We, during COVID and after COVID, until this past year, we had a lot of trouble. And I think it was the same with teachers just trying to get, folks that wanted to work, but, we seem to be on, you know, a better.
Okay.
You know, we're getting better with that aspect of it. I mean, we don't have full-time positions, most of our positions are part-time, so that's probably our biggest hurdle
Yeah.
is trying to keep folks. But we have a lot of folks that want to, you know, work up the ranks. So, we definitely encourage that. We train anybody that wants to be trained, and we have, with all the retirements coming, it's not hard to entice them to come on board. And then it fits, you know, a lot of people's schedules to do it the way that, you know, to only work 3 or 4 hours a day. So, you know, there's always someone to fill that in. So I wouldn't say there's an issue right now.
Well, that's
I
good.
mean, there's always somebody coming and going, but I think that's normal.
So that's really good to hear. I think a lot of it also, is the benefit, is benefiting from you and your organization, right? Though the number of smiles that I see from, I don't want to say they're all ladies, but I know a lot of them are ladies, right? But wherever we come across them, whether it's the parade or it's out at events or it's in the school in the lunchroom, they're just happy. They just seem to have just such a positive outlook, positive affect, and I know that's great for keeping the camaraderie of the team together. So hats off to you and your group for doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Mrs. McCloskey.
Just a quick question. So all the positions, are they all the same throughout the state, like with hours? Do any of the other districts have any full-time bakers or full-time?
We have our bakers, our cooks, bakers, and managers are full-time. And then in our district, we just added a 6-hour position, which is a benefit position as well.
Okay,
But anything under 6 hours is not. And that does go along with the rest of the state.
yeah, okay. I didn't know that. So pretty much everybody's falls under this same categories and they're out by the state, they're statewide through the different, okay.
So appreciate another great report. Appreciate all the work that you guys do for our students. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we are up to section 6.1, board policies, first reading. This is a discussion item. Correct? We come back later. Yes, okay. All right, so board policies, first readings, we have 6 or 7 of these. I think we'll go through individually. We'll start off with CA. Excuse me, administration goals / priority objectives. Any discussion on CA? Dr. White.
Just 4E looks like it's got automatic spacing on or something. It's set up differently than all the A through D. So that's the only thing I noticed. Everything else was fine.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Anything else?
Sorry, that's the keyboarding teacher.
All right, on to CB, school superintendent. Any discussion on CB? Okay, seeing none, move on to CBB, recruitment and appointment of superintendent. A discussion on CBB. All right, seeing none, move on to CBD. Superintendent's contract. Excuse me, any questions or discussion on this policy? Moving on to CBE. Superintendent's salary, compensation, and benefits. Any discussion on CBE? Seeing none, move on to CBJ. Superintendent's termination of employment. Any discussion on this policy? All right, and finally, on to CH/CHA, policy implementation. Any discussion on this policy? All right, seeing none, we'll close discussion of first reading. We will entertain a motion for approval near the end of the meeting. With that said, we're up to some action items. Starting with section 8, Mrs. Starkey.
Section 8, personnel resignations, and make a motion, we approve resolution 8.1 to 8.3 as written. Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0.
Section 13, personnel offers of employment, and make a motion, we approve resolution 13.1 through 13.3 as written. Second.
Motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0.
Section 15, personnel leaves of absence, I make a motion, we approve resolution 15.1 as written. Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on that motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0.
Section 19, personnel appointments, and make a motion, we approve resolution 19.1 as written. Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0.
Section 21, other business, they make a motion, we approve resolution 21.1 school choice as presented. Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0.
Section 24, other business board policies, I make a motion, we approve resolution 24.1 first reading as modified during discussion. Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on that motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Mrs. Starkey. Thank you, Mrs. McCluskey. We're up to section 25, board report and discussion items. Start with 25.1, Delaware School Board Association, Mrs. McCluskey.
We don't meet until November.
Any questions for Mrs. McCluskey on DSBA?
When in November?
The sixth, I believe.
Okay, thank you, Ms. McCluskey. 25.2, Legislative Committee, Dr. Wyatt.
We met last week and had Dr. Lucas there to join us. Many of the bills that were in existence already have been signed into law, so there was not a lot of discussion. We did review some of the existing legislation and either approved of them or went on record as it really didn't have anything to do with us. So I'll have more on that at the next meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Wyatt. Any questions, or discussion for Dr. Wyatt and Legislative Committee? Report. All right, thank you. We're up to 25.3, good of the order, opportunity for board members to address any topics not otherwise covered on the agenda. Board members, the floor is open. Mrs. McCluskey.
I just wanted to say I went to Chipman the other day. It's my assigned school, but I love it anyway, even if it wasn't my assigned school. And I was part of the, I like to call it a PAC, but it's not a PAC, it's an ACT. What's the beginning letters?
Advisory Council.
Yeah, it's advisory council. So that's it, just,
It's the school council, the school advisory council.
see, it's, I pretend it's a PAC, but it's not. There's no parent part of that. So anyway, it's an ACT. It's an advisory council that I'm part of. This is my probably third year on it, and I love it. There's multiple kids, from each grade level on it. The administrators, all the counselors, community members. We just get to have a great discussion, see what and I'm telling you, if you guys could see, well, you can see, but if you really look into how great that school is doing behaviorally this year, you will just, there would be no fear of what I always hear, people, oh, scared of going to Chipman or middle school. They are doing wonderful things. There's not any student, I think, in the entire school that's considered red on the pyramid with 6+ referrals. There's just so many good things going on there. It really does need to be celebrated. I'm in the hallways, I'm walking around, I visit teachers, see the kids, and there's just nothing but good going on there. So, I encourage anybody to make an appointment, stop by, see for yourself, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. The atmosphere is great, the kids are happy. So it's really doing some great things there. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you, Ms. Wapowski.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
Yes.
Dr. White?
Another hat that I wear is as a supervisor for Wilmington University, and it is just a pleasant surprise every time I walk into one of Lake's buildings. This year, I've had students at South, I've had students weekly at Chipman. I'll have one at Central in the next couple of weeks. And just to see how well things are going, and especially I get to compare what I'm seeing in our district compared to many other districts in the state, and job well done, guys. It looks great.
Thank you, Dr. White. And I'll just say again, hats off to the high school and everyone for a great homecoming weekend. I didn't realize it until my son and I were talking, but it was also my last homecoming as a parent. And so it was great to observe the parade and so much to the chagrin of my fellow board members. I always watch the parade. I don't normally participate, but I always set up right next to Mrs. Kersey, and there's not enough people around to actually hear what's going on there, but she does a phenomenal job of announcing and stuff. So hats off to her as well. So thank you again for all of that. If there's nothing else, we do not believe we have a need for executive session. No, sir. We will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded for adjournment. Any questions or discussion on that motion? I will just say our next meeting will be 2 weeks from now, Thursday, October 24th, 7 p.m. right back here. All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention, motion carries 4-0. We stand adjourned at 7:30. Have a good night. Be safe. Thanks for all you do.